Adriana Cotero. Glad you could join us. The Attorney General and the Office of Public Accountability have teamed up to tackle the misuse of government funds. They will review the practices of government agencies to determine if the laws on paying government officials are being followed. This after the OAG found that the Consolidated Commission on Utilities held closed-door discussions on pay raises and bonuses for certain employees. This violated the open government law, which requires that any discussion about salaries be held in a public setting. According to a press release issued Thursday, the OAG requested the OPA to audit the practices of autonomous agencies relative to employee compensation. If violations are found, the OAG will decide a remedy on a case-by-case basis, which may include civil, criminal, or administrative action. To report the suspected misuse of government funds, please call the OAP's hotline at 472-8348 or visit their website, opaguam.org, where reports can be made anonymously. Retirement fund officials are now seeking the repeal of an ill-fated hybrid plan created with the help of the legislature about 4 years ago that has never taken off, known as the Guam Retirement Security Plan. It was meant to bridge the gap between the old defined contribution plan, considered generous by comparison with a new defined benefit option. But Retirement Fund Board member Jerry Cruz explains that there were several flaws to the proposal.
The problem with that scheme, first of all, is the 4% is arbitrary. It doesn't take into account time value of money, which if you think about it, is nothing more than a glorified savings account. The 4% earnings rate doesn't consider the possibility that inflation could be as high as 8% or 9%. And so if inflation does go beyond 4%, the earnings that that member receives is going to fall behind what the actual cost of living is.
Speaker Tina Barnes has introduced a bill to repeal the GRSP plan. Retirement officials concede that they did not fully vet the fiscal implications. They add that not only was there little interest among employees, they also didn't have the funding to implement it. Local Vietnam veterans share more about their efforts to replace a memorial statue that fell victim to typhoon damage. With Chris Barnett, here's more.
Local Vietnam veterans and Vietnam Veterans of America Chapter 668 say they were shocked when they learned a replica of the iconic three servicemen statue honoring Vietnam vets had been blown down during Super Typhoon Mangkhut. Chapter President Dan Mendiola remembers when he got the call that the statue had fallen, while fundraising chair Nick Francisco shares with us the significance of the statue.
The situation was there's no way that one or two people can pick up the damaged statue. They were in pieces. So we immediately got together, and that was the first agenda on the first meeting, upcoming meeting, as to what we're going to do.
It's very important that this statue represents these 70-some killed in Vietnam, and this is the most appropriate statue to come up here. And when the typhoon damaged the first one, I suggested that we try to replace with the same statue.
The statue, which costs thousands of dollars to replace, is a replica of Frederick Hart's The Three Servicemen. The Veterans commissioned the replica statue in the Philippines. The original is part of the Vietnam Veterans Memorial in Washington, D.C. Chapter 668 thanks Don Harper, VFW 1509, Auxiliary 1509, Padre Palomo 2914 Assembly, the Military Order of the Purple Heart, and Hafaday Bingo. It was dedicated in a ceremony on Monday. Chapter member John Rivera.
It's a good feeling, and especially we dedicated on November 11, Veterans Day. It's a nice ceremony.
Meanwhile, Mendiola invites the public to stop by the chapter HQ anytime, and he says the group is working on more improvements, including the addition of a to-scale Vietnam-era Huey helicopter, and the hope tourists will make the area a stop on their around-the-island tours. He adds the headquarters has become a popular place for veterans of all branches to break bread.
My heart has always been to make sure that all of our Vietnam-era veterans, both the ones that have passed on the battlefield and those that were associated with the Vietnam veteran war-era people, and that could be all the armed services, the Army, the Air Force, the Navy, the Marines, and the Coast Guard. And actually, in a way, I feel that I am very, very honored to have had these guys around.
For Guam's News Network, Chris Barnett reports.
The U.S. Naval Base Guam Visitor Control Center Contractor Services Office started providing veteran pre-enrollment services on Tuesday, November 12th, and will continue to do so every Tuesday and Thursday until December 12th. Veterans and eligible caregivers must bring Veterans Health Information Card and/or letter of eligibility and the necessary completed forms. The hours of operation are from 7 a.m. to 10:30 a.m. and noon to 3:30 p.m. The services are part of the upcoming changes authorized by the National Defense Authorization Act, in which Section 621 of the NDAA authorizes privileges at the commissary exchange and certain MWR facilities for Purple Heart recipients. Veterans with service-connected disabilities, those who have been prisoners of war, and registered primary or family caregivers. Section 626 requires that the Secretary of Defense establish procedures by which eligible surviving spouses and other next of kin may obtain unescorted access to military installations in order to receive benefits to which they may be entitled to. Both sections are effective January 1st, 2020. In order for eligible persons to avail of such privileges, they must obtain a VHIC or be issued a letter to specify eligible caregivers, both of which are an approved credential. For more info, call the VCC at 339-6217. As of Thursday, nearly 200 people were processed with an average wait time of 25 minutes. And Giving Tuesday takes place on December 3rd, and we have several classes from island schools participating. Leading up to the big day every weekend, we will introduce you to some of those classes who are taking the Kids for Kindness Challenge. Here's more.
Vanessa Perez is a 5th grade teacher at Finnegodden Elementary School. She explains what made her decide to sign up for the Kids for Kindness Challenge.
Our principal, Mrs. Garcia, she shared with us about the Kids for Kindness Challenge and the Giving Tuesday. And so I was thinking, this would be something for my students to participate in, only because in our school, we do have students that need that extra support, that need that idea that there are students who care about me. And so it weans away from their misbehaviors.
Throughout the month of November, all the way to Giving Tuesday, kids are challenged to complete a daily act of kindness, whether it be a compliment to as many people as you can, to doing chores around the house without your parents asking.
I want them to understand that we're doing this because I want you to feel how it feels when you give back from your heart.
Vaughn Cruz and Jarek Solomon say they both have been taking the Kids for Kindness Challenge.
The first few have been fun and it makes me feel good helping my classmates. The second day was really fun giving compliments to people because it made them have a smile, and I really loved it when people have smiles.
Anela Poyumo, who is running for Student Council President, says for their Giving Tuesday project, they're getting the whole school involved with the toiletries and canned food drive.
The Student Council canned food drive benefits is the Salvation Army and the Ministry for the Homeless.
Cruz said it best, why it's important to be kind.
When you give kindness to someone, they'll give it to someone else, and it just gives a global experience of being kind, so everyone can have that good feeling.
If you would like to find out more about the Global Day of Giving and how you can participate and join the Giving Tuesday movement, visit givingtuesday.org.
We challenge you to take the Kids for Kindness Challenge.
Also, make sure to follow Giving Tuesday Guam on Instagram.
Stay tuned. Next on Weekend Edition, we have trend spotting, and still to come, the Guam Crime Stoppers report.
Get up-to-the-minute news, plus access to alerts, streaming radio, promotions, and more on your mobile device by downloading the KUAM News mobile app, available at the App Store now.
Advances in technique and medications used to prevent dental pain have shattered the myth that a dental visit is something to fear. Even the dreaded root canal or wisdom tooth extraction. Swabbing or spraying a topical numbing agent on before the injection, and using different techniques and anesthetics can create a relatively comfortable or pain-free injection. Injections are often the most feared procedure. Some patients don't like the sounds or the vibrations of decay removal. If you're still nervous or you gag easily, despite these techniques, very safe oral medicines can be taken before your dental appointment to eliminate all fears, or some clinics use nitrous oxide gas. Pain relievers can easily be prescribed to eliminate mild to severe dental discomfort after any visit. For your Helpful Dental Minute, I'm Dr. Kenny Bourgeois of Paradise Smiles. We shall never know all the good that a simple smile can do.
Guam's auto appearance specialist, Elegant Reflections, has been providing the automotive industry with professional detailing and car care products at its highest quality, from complete detailing, full interior detailing, exterior detailing, headlamp restoration, hand washing, seat and carpet shampoo, engine degreasing, undercarriage cleaning, paint sealant, fabric protection, paint oxidation removal, and so much more. Visit us at our new location. Call 646-5555 for an appointment. Elegant Reflections, Guam's auto appearance specialist, over 20 years of experience.
Illegal dumping and old photos circulating the internet. This up next and more on Trend Spotting. Hafa everyone, I'm Cami Aguirola and welcome back to another episode of Trend Spotting. Here are the topics that had you talking this week, starting with old photos circulating social media.
Hemlani Apartments is back in the headlines after pictures went viral on social media of trash piled up at their Harmon complex. Vinod Hemlani knew it was only a matter of time for Gov Guam to show up. According to Guam EPA spokesperson Nick Lee, the picture was so alarming Tamuning Mayor Luis Rivera sent the photo to the agency. According to Vinod, when Guam EPA showed up, it was a waste of time because the photo that went viral was an old picture. Hemlani Apartments has been in the headlines in the past for problems with violence and how it's managed its solid waste, but Vinod says they've cleaned up their act, and he'd like to keep it that way. Unfortunately, in this situation, people will just react whoever posts anything, he says.
It's just basically an old picture that was posted online, I made a comment on it, and people just reacted to nothing.
Facebook users took to the comments to share their opinions. Daria Mentanotnia said, even if it's an old picture, evidently it still showed some commodes against the apartment and other unsafe debris lingering on site. Landlords should always keep their apartments maintenance ready and upkept for your existing tenants. And on your lease, you should stipulate cleanliness and neatness within their surroundings. Your apartments are such an eyesore, you not only have to think about the money. The environment is very much an importance, so you need to be more strict with your tenants. Lynn Meno Santos said, take a trip to Hemlani Apartments in Malesu. I couldn't believe the condition of that place in my last visit home, and I hear it's so much worse. Unsafe sharing of electricity from one unit to the next, broken windows without repair, trash pileup, etc. How does this landlord pass inspections for fire and safety? Don't wait for tragedy to strike. I don't know how Hemlani continues to do business with the conditions of the apartments they rent out. Grace Sampson Obina said, with the broken toilets outside and other things, that is a good cause for the dengue fever, or are they waiting for someone to get infected before any action is taken?
Up next, who is responsible for Jigo's incessant illegal dumping issues?
Back in May, a cleanup was held at a bus stop and strip of road in Jigo that was covered in trash being illegally dumped. Fast forward to November, and the area is back to being an eyesore that is frustrating residents. Pam Duval, also known as Bus Stop Betty, sent a letter to Jigo Mayor Rudy Matanani inviting him to the bus stop on Chalin Ramirez to discuss what he plans to do about the illegal dumping. Tons of household trash, tires, appliances, and junk cars could have been seen from the Ramirez bus stop all the way into the Zero Down housing area. According to Duval, it's an environmental issue, a public health issue, a safety issue, and a mayoral issue. Mayor Matanani responded to Duval's message.
The bus stops don't belong to me. It's not my responsibility. It's our responsibility. It's the public works responsibility. It's the parents' responsibility. It's Department of Education's responsibility. It's the mayor's office responsibility. And I'm doing my part.
We put out a poll on our Instagram asking who you think is responsible for the illegal dumping. Here are your responses. At 671 Sunset said, it takes a village to beautify and make each village safe. The mayor coordinates and enforces. At Shannon Don T said, people clean up after yourselves, no one's job but yours. At Kokai Blas said, bring solutions with your complaints.
In a heated testimony, fishermen push for a scuba fishing ban.
There was heated testimony during a public hearing on a bill that would ban fishing with scuba tanks. While the measure has twice failed in previous legislatures, most of the testimony was in favor of the bill. Guam's fish are few and far between. That was the gist of testimony on a bill that would ban scuba fishing. Freediver spearfisher Vince Laguatnia testified in support of the ban, and he gave what he said would be the benefits of it.
Allowing reef populations to increase and to return to shallower depths. Aligning Guam regulations with the rest of the Pacific that have banned scuba fishing. And lastly, promoting sustainable fishing methods so that generations can enjoy the same fishing experiences.
Similar measures introduced in previous legislatures have failed, primarily due to the lobbying efforts of Fishermen's Co-op President Manny Duenas. That's according to Public Auditor BJ Cruz, who introduced scuba fishing ban bills in the 30th and 31st legislatures. Duenas was on hand yesterday and he spoke about what he called a scuba stereotype. Duenas was called out by a veteran fisherman, Ron Laguatnia, who said in essence, Duenas' testimony should be taken with a grain of salt water because Duenas doesn't see what fishermen do. Testimony was also given about the rampant commercial overfishing of reef fish and its effect on reef populations. Here's what you had to say in the comments. Jarrett Muniz said, scuba tanks help stay underwater longer, wiping out the fish. Catch what you need and save some for everyone else trying to catch to feed their families. Georgie Brown said, pass the law to protect the fish and environment and also the people that live in Guam. The people and environment comes first. Tank is used to dive, studying things underwater, not to use to hold your breath so you can go fishing. Chris Cruz said, I've seen the decline in reef fish on the east side. I've seen fishermen shooting very small species of fish. We were taught to be selective and not to share, not greedy. The decline is due to a lot of reasons. Scuba fishing is one. When you combine resources with money, it'll eventually lead to greed and depletion. We're only human. Make it fair across the board. One breath and a spear. Scuba allows for longer breathing. Totally unfair. Make decisions for the greater good for generations to come.
And that's all for this week. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.
Brains and Brews, the Lagunitas Bar Trivia Tourney at Cowboy Ninja. This is the ultimate bar trivia series for geeks who like to party. Every Wednesday beginning at 6:30 p.m. Teams will go head-to-head in a battle of wits, smarts, knowledge, or just plain luck in a trivia tournament like no other. Come and cheer your team for a chance to win prizes throughout the night for crowd participation. Brains and Brews, the Lagunitas Bar Trivia Tourney is brought to you by Docomo Pacific Business. Delivering your future today.
We value relationships because when we commit,
I love you guys until you're 80, until you're 90, until you're 100, forever.
we are in it for the long run. So you can enjoy the moments that matter. Because when we commit to relationships, we never stop caring. Calvo's Select Care, health care that is always there for you. Federal employees and annuitants enroll today.
Matson is in this community. We've been in this community for decades. We're going to be in this community for decades to come. Things will get busy, things will get quiet, but we're going to be here. We're your hometown carrier. And that matters to us.
Reliability is the core of our business. We take pride in ensuring that we arrive in Guam on time as scheduled.
It's our local employees who understand the market, who understand the business, and provide that hard work for you each and every day.
When we hold ourselves to high standards, our customers also hold us to high standards. We establish good business relationships that turn into friendships. That's why it's so important to be here and be trusted by your customers. We want you to trust Matson like your friend, like your family.
Without a doubt, the story that you have been reacting to the most on social media all through the week has been the very disturbing and very horrific shooting that happened in Pagat. Meanwhile, GPD Sergeant Paul Tapau is here, and we are going to talk about, Paul, what we've now reported. Our Chris Barnett was saying that the woman evidently is expecting, so she is pregnant. They've got a specialist that they need to remove the bullet apparently from her cheek, and her family believes that the incident appears to be like a drive-by. They believe it was just a random act of violence. I don't want to belabor like any of the details because the problem right now is we just don't have a lot of true information that you guys can build on, right?
And you're spot on with that. And of course, you know, the Guam Police Department, everybody within the rank and files, from our chief down to our patrol officers that work to beat, and to our detectives, we understand the seriousness and the magnitude of this case. And you know, my first release was pretty much just asking for anybody's help relative to helping us with this investigation, because of the fact that the knowns that we put out there, that from Route 26 by Pagat, the intersection of Route 15 Pagat Miguel and Route 26 Mechechi Avenue down towards the 1,000 steps, we had officers combing that area. Now we are asking that if anybody may have witnessed this incident or may have any information or may have saw something that night or that morning, within the morning hours from 1 o'clock to 3 o'clock in the morning of Wednesday, November 13th, if you saw anything suspicious that maybe out of the ordinary, that, you know, if you are a pillar family that commutes to and from work, or you're going to your places of employment or school, and you saw something that stood out, we ask that you call us. Please give us any information so that we can piece this together. And you know, it's tragic what happened, and it really is. We want to bring closure. You know, that the female victim in this case, you know, we're going to continue to work to bring closure for this.
Now, we always talk about, you know, like if you see something, say something. If you have the ability to record something on cell phone video, you should do that. If you witness something with your eyes, please come forward and everything like that. But that's not always going to be the case. But what happens, Sarge, if somebody just says, you know, I was in the area, I heard a certain kind of gun go off, and it sounded like, you know.
It's important.
Yeah.
It really
That's
is.
information you can use, though. That's important.
It is, because, you know, we can actually bring in experts to, you know, people who are familiar with firearms. To
your ballistics guys.
Yeah. To even our firing range, you know, our range safety officers, they can tell you the distance and everything, and where the sound came from, the type of caliber, you know, and the direction of where the you know, the shooting may have occurred. So we're still piecing this together, and we want to assure the community that we're working on this. This is a pretty much round-the-clock operation for our detectives, because of the fact that, you know, as piece by piece comes in, you know, we're piecing everything, and we're trying to create that picture so we have a full understanding. And you know, again, as information gets provided, we will put it out to the community, we'll put it out to the media, and you know, we're gonna work closely with the community with this, because this is an opportunity in which we can actually all help safeguard our beautiful Wyden and bring justice and closure to this case.
Now, for people that know the Pagat area, it's off of the back road to Anderson. Yeah. It's kind of a little bit remote and everything like that, but by no means does that mean, again, you know, any information, and you know, I stress the point, visual, auditory, something you may have smelled, you know, like when a gun discharges and everything like that. If there was a smell of smoke and everything like that, please come forward.
Things out of the ordinary, you know, a vehicle traveling down the roadway with headlamps off, you know, I mean, these are things that we need to know which direction, how far do you see before they apply their brakes, so that we can have a general, you know, a general picture of where we can actually pinpoint and place our investigators, so that we can look for more evidence. We can help gather evidence, and again, bring everything back to the time of when the incident happened. So things out of the ordinary that you may have seen, or you know, may have caught your attention, these are things that we need to know. So if anybody was in the area, the early morning hours, I want to give a time frame from 1 o'clock to 3 o'clock in the morning, Wednesday, November 13th, while traversing from Route 15 Pagat by the intersection of Route 26 towards the 1,000 steps, or the golf course. Please, you know, anything that you may have seen, may have heard, may look suspicious, this is an opportunity in which you can utilize the Guam Crime Stoppers, you know, tip line. You know, submit that tip online. If you feel that any, you know, threats may be given to you, it really, understanding the Guam Crime Stoppers, we practice full anonymity, and this is an opportunity in which you can safely report information of the crime and still remain completely anonymous.
And plus, you are talking to law enforcement and you're talking to the cops. So if you say, I'd like to come forward, but I believe that, something might happen to me, I mean, you guys will have their back.
Absolutely, absolutely. We do everything to safeguard.
You're the best people to go to with that kind of information.
We'll safeguard the individual, we'll safeguard the information, of course. And that's the beautiful thing of the Guam Crime Stoppers is that we're practicing full anonymity here, and it allows you to give that tip information to help bring closure to this case.
Okay, well, we do have the information for our crime of the week, so here is what you need to know.
The Guam Police Department is currently investigating a shooting incident that occurred around 1:50 in the morning on November 13 in Route 15, Pagat, Manila by the entrance to Thousand Steps. The preliminary police report indicated that a 27-year-old woman sustained injuries from the shooting and was transported to Guam Memorial Hospital for treatment and care and was listed in stable condition. Now, the Guam Police Department is seeking the help from the community relative to this investigation. Should anyone may have witnessed this incident or have any information that can help this investigation, please call our dispatchers at 472-8911 or 475-8615-7.
If anyone has any information about this crime or any other crime, you can call our 24-hour hotline at 477-HELP, that's 4357, or submit a tip online at guam.crimestoppersweb.com. All calls will remain completely confidential, and a cash reward of up to $1,000 could be paid if the information provided leads to an arrest and a grand jury indictment. Your call does make a difference.
All right, Sarge, we appreciate it as always. And probably the biggest thing is time is of the essence. So we want to make sure that we get information in, and we want to make this case closed as quickly as possible.
Absolutely. And, again, we want to assure the community that we're working, our officers are doing their due diligence and bringing closure to this. And, this is something in which we understand the importance and the magnitude of this case. So, that information that you can give us is going to help us with this case.
All right, Sarge, we appreciate it as always. We'll see you next week.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Okay, as Sarge and everybody at GPD always tell us, information becomes fact, fact becomes safety. So let's all work together and solve this case. We'll be right back.
It is the spirit within us, our soul, our essence that drives us to seek a better way, to create beauty and enrich the senses, to inspire fulfilling lives, to be at one with our earth and protect those who we love. Only by taking on challenges do we change the world for the better.
Join us in saluting those making strides and serving in our armed forces every Tuesday on the KUAM News Instagram account. These weekly posts round up profiles of Guamanians receiving accolades in the armed forces, those stationed on Guam making a difference in our community, and veterans being recognized for their service. Presented by Future Smiles Orthodontics. Build a brighter future with a brighter smile.
And before we close out the news tonight, our latest round of birthday shout-outs from the Cold Stone Creamery Birthday Club.
When you've got a weekend birthday, it's an extra awesome thing, so happy birthday to Isaias Kanata Rosalind. It's Isaias' 13th birthday, and to our wonderful son, have a wonderful, blessed birthday weekend. We love you always, say Dad, Mom, and all your brothers. Kairos Donato has a birthday today, and happy birthday, Kairos. The Lord bless you. We love you from Mom and Dad. On Sunday, it's a happy birthday to Krista Kaiser Gaza, so happy birthday to you. And happy birthday to one of our very own here, CJ Blas, who's a graphic artist, a musician, a singer, a songwriter, a fisherman, and all-around good guy. So CJ, glad to have you as a member of our family, and we hope you have a wonderful birthday.
Remember, you can be part of the Cold Stone Creamery Birthday Club by registering online on KUAM.com. Please make sure to include with your photo your name and birthday. That's all the time we have from all of us here at Guam's News Network. Thanks for watching and have a safe weekend.
KUAM TV8, your home for the Tokyo 2020 Olympic Games.
Howdy, I'm Chef Peter Duenas of Mezcla Restaurants. This is Food Obsession.
Just arrived in Vancouver, Canada. We're here for an amazing food adventure. We're gonna get our rental car and we're gonna head downtown. Let's go.
In 3 kilometers, take the exit on the right.
It's our first morning here in Vancouver, and we're here at the Jam Cafe, a super busy, bustling breakfast spot here. We've been in line for over an hour.